Hi everybody, it's Alisa Murray here in the Sweet Life Kitchen, and today I'm going to show you how to make my fig and lemon thyme preserves using my homemade vanilla that I made several months back with vodka and vanilla beans. It's a very simple recipe. You can use this recipe over and over and over again and just change out your fruit. And it's really lovely because when you're in the garden and you're in your kitchen and you're trying to get all these fruits and things that you've made harvested and get put back for the fall and for your pantry, you have to work pretty quickly. So you've got to be able to get all that stuff processed and get it into jars and get them all water bath canned so that they're shelf stable, and that way your fruit doesn't go to waste and you're able to enjoy it or give it as gifts to your friends. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is I want to zest one lemon over my pot, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It takes quite a bit of lemon, but that's a good thing. It's pretty good and zested, actually. There's a lot of zest in there. All right, get that off of there. Okay. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my vanilla and I'm going to want to get it out of here. There we go. Reach down here and get my measuring stuff. And I want to get a half of a tablespoon of vanilla. And guys, if you want to, I'll show you how to make the vanilla on a different episode, but it's really simple to do. So it's just another little wonderful thing to have, and you just keep adding vodka and vanilla beans to that, and that stuff is just fantastic. Now, the next thing is sort of a decision that you have to make. I don't mind having thyme actually in the jelly, and I like the way it looks in the jar. So for me, I just take the actual leaves off of the thyme and sprinkle them into the preserves. But there are a lot of people that want to wrap this in cheesecloth and then pull that out, so they just have the flavor there and they don't have the little leaves and stuff. But it's really a decision that's up to you. I like the more rustic look in my jar. I think it's pretty, and I think it also really sort of showcases that it's actually homemade, even though everybody knows it is, but you know what I mean. It just looks kind of cool to have little leaves in there, sprinkle it in and amongst all those gorgeous seeds from the figs. And figs are one of my most favorite things. I can use figs on a cheese plate with honey and nuts. Sometimes I like to take them and cut them and stuff them with an almond and then dip them in chocolate and roll them in nuts. There are so many things that you can do with these guys. They're just beautiful. And this year the figs are gorgeous. I mean, they're just really gorgeous. So I'm going to grab my knife and I'm going to take the top off of that fig just like that. I'm just going to cut the top off and drop it into my pan, or my pot rather. And we hear William over here talking to us today on our episode. And you know, you can eyeball this. I'm going to make 2 different batches for the YouTube channel with my figs, and so I'm going to take about half of this off of this wooden board and put it into this recipe, and then I'm going to take the other half and use it for another one that I'm going to show you in another episode. So I want to just tell you, you can work with what you got. I mean, like if you end up going out to your fig tree and you find yourself with 10 figs, you could make a small batch of refrigerator fig preserves. Just don't put it in the water bath. But the combination of the lemon and the thyme is just a really nice combination. It works well both on toast or on crackers or on a slice of pound cake even. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff you can do with this preserves. So I've got about a couple more to go. Let's see. We have a cat. Y'all know we have a cat. Y'all know me if you're following me that William is my sweet baby, and he always wants to make his presence known in the video. I don't know why. I think he thinks he's on YouTube too. So, all right, that's about half. I'm gonna go one more. All right. So to this mixture, what I'm going to add is I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of sugar. And so I'm going to grab that. So there's a cup. And there's a half. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this on my stovetop. And I'm going to keep a good close watch on it because I don't want that sugar to burn. And we're going to let those figs cook down. Meanwhile, I've already got the water bath going. I've got the water in the pot, getting it boiled up. These jars have been sterilized. The new lids and new screw tops are all set to go. And what we're going to do is we're going to cook down that mixture. And then at the very end, we're going to add our pectin and our lemon juice. And then I'm going to fill the jars, being conscientious of the headspace, and then I'm going to water bath them in the pot for about an hour, maybe 30, 45 minutes actually. So I'll be right back to you. I'm just going to go ahead and work on these figs, and then we'll be back when it's time to pour them in the jars and get them ready for the water bath canning. We'll see you soon. Okay, everybody, I have cooked the figs with the lemon zest and the thyme and the vanilla and sugar down, and it's been cooking on the stove for about 30 minutes. So it's very goopy. The consistency is like this. As you can see, it's real goopy. And what I need to do next, and what you need to do next, is you need to take 1 packet of your Sure Gel for your pectin so that you can turn this into preserves. And you want to put that, turn it off the stove, and you want to put that in there into your mixture along with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice that's not squeezed fresh, but it's from the actual jar or however you're buying it from. So it's 1 full tablespoon of lemon juice, and then incorporate that in and get all that pectin incorporated into your figs and your sugar. Just like that. All right, now the next thing that you're going to want to do is pull this off the stove, and this is what it looks like. It's beautiful. And you're going to want to take your jars. Now, if you want to strain off the pieces of fig and push it through a sieve, you can do that. I don't want to do that. I like to have big chunks of figs in my preserves because that's the way my grandmothers both made it. So I'm used to having that be a big old chunky spread of fig amidst all that gorgeous, yummy, sugary, jelly around it. So mine is going to just go in and scoop. So I'm going to take like something. Let's see if I can take something that take one of these guys, and I'm going to scoop it into my jars. Be careful too, because it is very, very hot. I'm just going to drop that in there. Just be real careful. Try not to get it on the sides of the jar either if you can, because it's less for you to have to clean up if you can manage to do it that way. You have to make sure that those lids go down on a very clean surface so that they seal. And if you get it all around the edges, then you're going to have to do a lot of cleanup. Like I just got a little tiny bit there, so I'll have to wash that up. So we've been talking about a lot of preserves and canning on the channel. You see that headspace that's there. I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch headspace for each jar. We're going to put those lids on and screw them up and stick them in the water bath, and you want there to be some space in there for that to expand and to seal up properly, so that they'll become shelf stable. So that is the next step. I'm just going to keep scooping stuff into jars, and then I'll clean up those jars and I'll stick them in the water bath. So we'll just keep moving right along. Let's see how many jars we get from this. I think it's going to be right at 3. Those are beautiful. Really are beautiful. That's good stuff. All right, so I've gotten 2 and almost a full jar. So since this jar is not full, I'm going to actually put this with a lid and a screw top on it and stick it in the refrigerator and go ahead and use it, because I don't want to go ahead and can it with there being that much headspace. So this is just going to be an extra special treat. But we did get 2 full jars of this particular recipe that we'll be able to put back and put in the pantry. So the next step is going to be to get your lids and your tops, after you've cleaned everything up and there's no stickiness, and put that down on there. Just like that. And then you're going to want to set these jars down into a boiling hot water bath. And you hear this? We talked about this every episode. This is not sealed, right? So whenever it comes out of the water bath, it's going to go onto a towel and it's going to cool down. And usually those lids will seal down, and you might hear them go pop. If they do, they do. If they don't worry, but check them, because if they're making this noise still, that means they didn't seal. It means that they too are going to have to go in that refrigerator in order for you to be able to use them. They'll be good in the refrigerator for, a month or a couple of months actually. Once they're shelf stable, though, they'll be good for up to a year in your pantry. So that's important if you're trying to get a lot of stuff processed, which of course we are in the Sweet Life Garden and the Sweet Life Kitchen. But I'm going to go ahead and do this now, and then I'm going to set them out there to dry. So it's a 30-minute bath in the altitude for fig preserves for Houston, Texas. And the time that we cooked it, remember, with the sugar and the lemon zest to get it all cooked down to be this consistency before we added our pectin and our lemon juice, was also about 30 minutes. So just so you kind of can get an idea about how long it takes to do this recipe. We are going to be having in the comments below or down in the descriptions the full recipe and all the details for this. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys have gotten a little bit of insight into maybe a new way to do figs with the thyme and the lemon and the vanilla. And if you did, please do me a favor and like and share, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you're notified when we do another episode in the Sweet Life Kitchen. We'll see you soon.